Okie dokie. We got another one here. And Niykee Heaton shares shocking encounter with Diddy and Kanye West 23 hours ago on a channel that is PG3 TV, which is here. And it's just basically like, I don't know, she's not very big. She's not, yeah. And this video doesn't have a ton of views. Like, I'm not sure what her best video is, and I'm not judging either, but maybe she talks more about. She does reviews, it looks like, maybe. Anyhow, maybe she's just posting this video. Maybe this isn't the person. That could be too. But let's go back to her video here, the one that was uploaded. So, this is a victim of Diddy and Kanye's, or Ye's, or Yee, or whatever. Anyways, I haven't seen this, so I'm going to be just as shocked as everyone else.
Is the music industry as evil as people say it is? And I was like, it's more evil than you could possibly imagine. I'm one of the lucky ones. I got out when I could. I was like lucky enough to only be like assaulted like twice, and I was never actually going
to. Twice. That sounds weird. I don't know if she's telling the truth or what. She has an Instagram apparently. Her name is that name on Instagram. So apparently, I don't know. Let's see.
To tell this story like ever. I was going to kind of like go to my grave with this because but because of recent events and the things that have come to light quite recently, I felt the need to kind of come on here, and I feel like it was my time to kind of just tell this story. And it's pretty much one of the reasons that I lost a lot of my love for music in that sense, like making it public in that sense. So if you have been paying attention to what's going on, like like Diddy has gone down, like shit's coming out about him. It's kind of like irrefutable proof of.
I do have a question though. Somebody said in the comments too. Why is she wearing a bra talking about?
People are accusing Kanye now of the same type of shit, and my old manager Lauren has kind of been the whistleblower.
So her manager was a whistleblower,
and I wasn't going to say anything. I'm very proud of her. I'm very, very proud of her, and I'm so glad that she's stepping forward and kind of saying what's going on. And again, I wasn't going to say anything. And then I saw that, it became public. And I clicked on one of the posts that were saying like, oh, Kanye's ex-assistant is coming forward and saying that, sexual assault and all these things. And I was like, yeah. And then I looked at the comments and it was like, she's a fucking liar. Like, none of this is true. She's doing this for money and fame and clout and all this. And it made me so mad. It made me so fucking mad.
Well, there is that aspect too, right? That people could be doing it for that fact.
And I started to comment. I was like, you know what? Let me stop.
I mean, didn't that happen with Michael Jackson? Now I don't even know what to think anymore about anything in Hollywood.
So basically, music. I'm telling this story now because I'm out of the industry. I left LA. I'm in like the middle of fucking nowhere on a farm. Like what could I possibly gain from this, right? Like I don't care. Like I'm not filing any sort of suit, so like I'm not getting money from this. And if you see the things about like, oh, she's lying, I'm here to say.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Maybe on Instagram she has more. But there's only
so I was 19. And if you know anything about me, I went viral at 18 on World Star and then on YouTube and like kind of rose to fame really quickly. And I was doing rap covers, so a lot of rappers were reaching out to me. I was 19 years old, like I had just left home, and working with my manager, and we were in LA and doing all these crazy things. And all of a sudden, I got a call one day, and it's like, hey, like Kanye wants you to come to the studio. And we were just like what? Like Kanye knows who I am? Like what? This is crazy. So we go. And this happens like multiple times. Like you can find it if you go back and find headlines, you'll find proof of it. Like we were working with Kanye and he was like, I want to know what you're doing in your new music. Like I want to hear your tracks. I want to play mine. I want to know what you're doing with this fashion stuff because like your style is like so fucking cool. And if you go in dig enough, like he said it publicly, like UNLP were, the
I don't know
muse for
nothing
Yeezy
about hip
season
hop.
1, because like he
Pretty
went back and
famous
asked like,
around
oh my
here.
god, you guys are like so fucking cool, like you wear like shapewear is real clothes, like that's so dope, like blah 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 blah, and like had his people go through my wardrobe, and he wanted me to be the model for Yeezy season 1, and I went and I flew there and I did all this shit, and I was like, I'm not fucking doing this, like there was something just not right about it. Anyway, every time we would go to the studio with him, it was like, yeah, he wanted to work on music, but there was something just like fucking weird about it. Like he would pull up his laptop and he would have like bookmarks of all of our pages and like our Instagrams, our Snapchat, Twitter, all of that, and like our pictures saved. And even now, like even like a year ago, I'm still getting DMs from people in the industry like, yo, like me and Kanye used to sit in the studio for hours talking about you and your manager, like he was obsessed with you. And I was like, whoa, okay, crazy. Anyway, back to me
This
being
is
19
so
years old.
weird.
This was probably the last time that we
Hearing somebody talk
went to the
about
studio.
their life with Diddy and
We got a call. It was late. We were living in LA. And we get a call and it's like, hey, like, yeah, he wants you to come to the studio. And we're like, cool. Like, why? And he's like, he wants to work on music. And we're like, that's great. And so we go, and it's like somewhere in LA, some studio we've never been to before. And we show up and walk in, and it's we're there to work on music, right? Like, that's why I'm here. And we walk in, and it's Kanye and it's Diddy. And a couple of people that we know, men. An executive that worked with Kanye, Kanye's engineer, and Kanye's cousin. And we walk in and we're like, okay, cool. And it's immediately I was like, there's something not right. There's something not right about this. Because we walk in and there's 9 other women there. And don't kill me.
I don't know what Kanye or Yeez or Yay or Hey Nay, whatever his name is, what his involvement is regarding Diddy. I feel there should be some kind of connection there other than just whatever, but he seems to be against the freak off stuff, so it makes me think maybe he wasn't as close to Diddy as I thought he was. I don't know. I'm new to all this hip hop. I mean, I knew who Diddy was, but this is like all new to me. I don't know who's who. Like Shine, Nicki. I don't have a clue. I don't know who these people are. I'm learning. People. Give me time.
Me for this, because this is what they call them. There were 9 studio hoes there. Like I'm all about women's rights. Do whatever you want to do, but that
studio hoe. Oh.
Don't shoot the messenger. That's what they call them. Women who show up to the studio in their full club outfit at the studio. It's like they're only there for one reason. They want to leave with someone who's there. And they're called studio hosts. That's just what they're called. And there are 9 women there. And we're like, that's weird. I thought we were here to work on music. And like we were invited. Like I was invited as an artist and my manager. So I'm wearing like fucking double XL sweatpants and like a giant hoodie. I look like a fucking slob. And like, my manager's there in her usual suit, like black leggings, black zip up. Like we're just like, this is strange, but okay. And we walk in and there's all these ladies there wearing their club gear, and Kanye and Diddy are already like out of their fucking mind, just like completely fucked up, drunk, but probably something else.
Well, that's might answer my question.
And we're like, okay, but like we were invited as artists, like maybe these girls are gonna leave and we're gonna work on music, like let's just walk in and just, yeah. Immediately I felt like there was something weird, because there's always drinks, there's always the vodka and the mixers just like sitting on the table, but we walk in and immediately Diddy hands me a drink, Kanye hands Lauren a drink, and we're like, that's weird. Why are they serving us? And I don't like to drink. So, but my manager, since the beginning, she was just like, I know you don't like to drink, but if someone famous hands you something to drink, even if you don't want it, just like hold it and like pretend, because you don't want to seem rude. And I was like, okay. And it was like a vodka cranberry. And I was like, oh, gross. And so I'm just standing there with my back against the console, just like pretending to sip this drink. I'm like, I'm not fucking drinking this. This is gross. And my manager was sitting across on his couch with
Lace. Good job.
Kanye's cousin, and then the other girls were sitting next to her. And immediately I was like, there's something fucking wrong. Like I couldn't explain it. I didn't know what to do. But I just like felt that there was something not right. But I didn't fucking know what to do. I was 19 years old. Like just left home a year ago, 19. New in the industry. Yeah, I didn't know what to do, but I knew that there was something wrong, basically. And I was standing there pretending to sip this drink, and my manager was sitting across from me. And if you know about like my past and like us being together, like she's very much reserved. And people would always say like, oh, she's such a bitch. She has like a resting bitch face. And it's because she has like a severe like social anxiety. Like she just wants to like sit in the corner and like tap on her phone and like not talk to anyone. So she's not a bitch. She's just very shy. And I see her across the room holding her drink, and it was weird because I noticed as I was standing there, just like wondering what's going on, Diddy kept looking at me, And Kanye kept looking at Lauren, and like they were exchanging glances, and I'm like, they're like watching me strangely. And I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink. And like, I'm not actually doing it. And like that seemed to like make them happy, like me like pretending to like join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something fucking in this drink. There's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I like, my manager was like across the room, but like close enough, but like not next to me, so I couldn't like whisper to her. But I wanted to tell her, I'm like, hey, don't fucking drink this. There's something wrong with this. But I couldn't. So I reach for my phone and I start to type, and Kanye takes the phone out of my hand and he's like, who are you texting? Like, you don't need to text anyone. Like, we're having a party. And I was like, okay. And he like puts it on one of the speakers. And I'm like, fuck, now what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And I see my manager take a sip, and I'm like, fuck. Now what do I do? And then I see her take another sip, 2 sips out of this little vodka cranberry cup. And I'm like, oh, what do I do? 2 sips, and I watch her face flush. And all of a sudden, like I look over and she's speaking really loud and like making jokes. And I'm like, whoa, like this isn't her. Like she doesn't make jokes. She's fucking terrified of people. Like she doesn't even talk. And I was like, it's already hitting her. Like 100%, I just knew that the drinks were all laced with something. And she starts like almost being like belligerent a little bit, but not in like a crazy way, just like really enjoying herself. And I'm like, that's not her. That's not her. She doesn't even want to be here. Like, this is weird. And all of a sudden she like dismisses the studio host. She's like, you can leave. And I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? And the girls file out. They go to like a different studio, or they go somewhere. And I'm like, I have to do something. I have to do something. What do I do? And I go to get my phone where Kanye put it on one of the speakers. And as I'm going to get it, I turn and my manager's walking out, and I'm like, no. Like, where are you going? Yeah. So I see her start to leave, and I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, it's fine. I'm just going to the bathroom. And I was like, no, stay. And she's like, it's right there. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay. And she walks out.
Oh boy.
And all of a sudden I realize that I'm in the studio. The music's low, the lights are dim, but you can still like see everything. And, I realized that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off their shit. And there's 3 other men.
So Kanye was part
an
of the
executive
show too?
That works with Kanye, his engineer,
I mean,
and his
it's
cousin,
surprising, but
and me, alone. And I haven't started freaking out yet. Like, I know what the situation is. I know, I know this is a bad place to be in, but I don't really feel scared yet, you know? Like, 'cause I'm like, there's other people around, there's other men around, and I know them. Like, I've known them for a while. Like, nothing bad's gonna happen. And I'm standing there, and I realize that so this is like a pretty like sizable studio. There's like the glass doors, the couch there, a console, another console, the screen, all of that. But it's like, it's pretty big, but you can still see and talk to everyone easily. And I realize that I'm standing really close to the exit. There's a glass door, and it opens in. And I'm standing pretty close to it. And I realized all of a sudden that Kanye and Diddy have realized that I'm the only girl in the room. And they're like fucked out of their minds.
Oh, no.
And they start coming towards me, and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, fine. I'm fine with this. And they're like, come on, like, it's just us. Like, we're all just friends. Like, let us just like see like how you look. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And like, I still haven't gotten scared yet, you know? Like, I'm still like, this is a bad situation. I'm creeped out, but like, there's no reason to panic. There's other men here. So they're coming towards me, and I'm like, okay, this is fucked. I don't know where my manager is. I don't know where anyone is. And they're coming towards me more, and they're trying to like take my clothes off. And
they thought she was
like at that point where I'm like, this is not good, but I'm like still trying to play it off. Just like, stop, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, get out of here. Like, don't touch me. They start trying, like, they're like pawing at me. Like, they're both drunk, probably on something else. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like, there's only one exit, and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop. Like, stop. And they're getting to the point where they have like ripped my shirt off. And like, I'm like almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like, seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like, we know him pretty well. Like, we've been around him a lot. He's literally 3 feet away from me. Like, if I reached and he reached too, like, we could touch. Like, he's that close. And I look, and I'm like, hey, like, I give that look where I'm just like, come on, like, step in. Like, this isn't cool. Like, you're a grown man. Like, you're like 50 years old. I know you have a family. Like, you know this isn't right. Like, do something. And this is the part that for as long as I live, I will never fucking forget. It isn't actually the aspect of being sexually assaulted. That's not what haunts me. It's this. It's as these 2 grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off. I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes.
And he didn't do nothing.
And he looks away. I'm like, okay, there's still 2 more men in the room. And I look to his engineer next, who's sitting right next to him. And I know that he's married and he just had a little baby girl. And I'm like, okay, he's going to do something. And I look at him next and I'm like, okay, like do something, say something, do anything. And he looks down at his phone and starts texting. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I look at Kanye's cousin next. And I'm like, do something, like fucking do something. And he spins his chair around. And that's when that like gut-wrenching fear set in. And I was like, oh shit, no one's fucking saving me tonight. No one's gonna do anything. No one's gonna do fucking anything.
Terrible. What the hell?
And that's when I was truly fucking scared. At this point, they had ripped my shirt off and they were trying to get my pants off. And I realized that I was completely alone. And I closed my eyes for a second. And I was like, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is going to sound weird because I bet a lot of you are wondering, like, how the fuck did you get out of this situation? My eyes were closed and I prayed. And I said, God help me. What do I do? And it was like clear as day. I heard this in my head and it didn't make any sense. I heard, go towards them. And I was like, oh, fucking great. The one time I asked God for help, Satan answers, because why the fuck would I go towards these 2 predators who are sexually assaulting me? Like, why would I do that? And then all of a sudden it clicked. My back was up against the glass wall. I could not go any further back. That was the only exit. He said, go towards them. They were already drunk off their shit. They were fucked up. So I lunged forward. I stepped forward. And it like threw them off balance. Like they were like, oh, and like they stepped back at least 1.5 feet. And the moment that they did, I reached behind my back, I pulled the door and I slipped out, grabbing my clothes. And I ran across the hall, across this corridor, and I hid inside of an empty studio that was black. And I sat there for like 20, 25 minutes, just like crying, like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm texting my manager and she's not answering. And eventually, I don't think I'm supposed to say this next part because it could hurt her kids, but basically, everything she fucking said is true, basically. Because what I saw next, I fucking saw it. I was the only one who wasn't drugged. I was the only one who didn't drink their drinks, whatever it is. I was the only one. So I saw what happened next and who was involved. And that's why I'm a part of this lawsuit and like named in it. And yeah, it just that. I mean, I eventually got us both out and I got us in an Uber and she obviously didn't remember anything because she was drugged and I wasn't. And apart from the aspect of, looking for help and they turned away, the only other thing that really, really fucks with me is what about all those other girls that were there? Yeah. There were 9 other girls who were drinking the drinks before we even got there. Like, I know none of them got out. I know none of them got saved that night. And I'm like, did they even fucking remember? Did they even know what happened to them?
Wow.
Moral of the fucking story, stay out of the industry. If you have daughters, make sure to tell them that they're idols. They should never meet and should never fucking go to the studio with anyone, even if you're invited there as an artist, unless you have a bodyguard with you. God, strike me down right now if I'm lying.
Oh my ever-loving God. That is terrifying. What in the actual... Oh my God. You guys give her, or this channel, whatever, over to her Instagram and her some love. She does have an Instagram. It's her name. So just go do that. But wow, that is something. Those monsters. Wow. Leave a comment.